Well, it's been absolutely months since I did a video. Lots have happened. Quite exciting. Mum and Dad need more care, so they've moved in with us in our little 2-bedroom bungalow. They've paid for a bit of an extension, so what used to be my glorious huge workshop is now half a bathroom. So my man cave is gone, and I've been relegated to what used to be a full man cave to now a demi-man cave. So quick guided tour. If I can get this camera off, it won't take long. Garden. That's something I built whilst I was messing around with extensions. Lovely situation on a field, and here is the mini man cave. So, the gentleman who said what a lovely workshop you've got, I don't think I can get this camera wide enough to give you a decent view. So here we are, this is where all the fasting will take place from now on. Tools, everything stored in here, and that's where I'll be attempting a new part of the hobby, which is making rings and various bits and pieces with the stones I facet. The other bit of news is, at 62 years old, my wife has decided to take this t-shirt that I'm wearing seriously. Hang on. There we go. And has decided that since I've been saving up all my life to retire early, I'm going to do it. Which means I better spend more time doing hobbies and trying to get this camera to sit properly, but it's not going to. Anyway, let me just see if I can get this right. Ten minutes later. Okay, there we go. In celebration of this fact, she's decided I'm making her a ring. So I'll film the process start to finish, and a chevron cushion, beg pardon, is what she wants. Hopefully a straightforward shape. And the material she wants to use, because she'd like an emerald, but of course we can't afford an emerald, is this strange, peculiar stuff. I'll look it up and tell you exactly what it is. It doesn't cost a lot, very dense, very heavy, and it does have a similar refractive index to emerald, which is why they call it emerald. It's man-made, obviously. I'll let you know what it is. Here we go, found it. Colombian emerald, green medium, nano crystal, gem lab created, heat resistant faceting rough. For gem cutting. Well, there we go. We'll see how we get on with it. Cheap as chips. Let's see if I can get any more information. Here we go. Refractive index 1.62, melting point 1700, nanoparticle crystal slightly included. There we go. So that's what we're faceting. Anyway, I'll cut it to size and let's get on with it. Okay, well there we go. It, as I said, it's very dense. Very much like a ruby bowl to cut. Nice colour. I've dipped it in water so we can have a look at it. See if there's any nasty inclusions in there. Seems alright to me. Held up on the saw. Right, I'll dop it up and let's get on. Just give it a bit of a pre-form first of all. I'm going to edit out all of this noise from now on. Put a bit of background music and talk through it via the mic. You don't want to listen to this whirring away, I'm sure. So what we're doing at the moment is squaring it off so we get a usable size and shape. This stuff is hard. Right, so here we are. I've shaped it off to the size that we want. She wants a big blingy ring. That's going to be a big blingy stone. What I'm going to do now is put the first set of facets in on the pavilion. Number 1 at 41.53. Don't know if you can see that, it's coming in gradually. So I'm putting the first 2 angles in, and we're going to fasten them to a point where once the first 4 are in, they meet at the very tip there. That then naturally means the stone finds its geometrical culot point. Listening to the noise there, I can tell, and the way the handpiece is swivelling now on this front foot, that it's reached a point. Now, if that is the case, not a point, but reached symmetry. And if you look at the stone, you can see that we haven't quite got the culot point yet, but the facets are coming together. So what I'll do now is just carry on easing them all down until they meet at the point, and that's the start of the stone. Geometry, wonderful thing. So let's lower this down another notch. Right there. And carry on cutting the first 4 facets. Right, as you can see, we're getting closer to that point. Still got to go in a bit more. So again, I'll carry on bringing those facets down till they meet. Right, that's the first 4 facets in. We've got a lovely point, which, if we look at the stone, is geometrical. So we're there on the first 4. I know the next 4, but that's for tomorrow. That's taken an hour. Used almost a jug of water. It's coming along nicely, and I think this is going to look really good. Okay, it's another day and we're faceting this emerald type thing. What I'm going to do now is change out the 500 disc to a 3000 disc because we've got our first 4 facets in, and I'm just going to use the loop and get them very accurately set in. Right, so we've now got the first 4 facets perfectly done, perfectly aligned, using now the 1200 disc. So we'll go back to, I don't know, a 500 and set the next lot in, which is at 41 degrees. And at 12 degrees on the index wheel. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Double check, you don't want to mess up. Okay, I'll start on that. So can you see that second facet coming in? We're cutting it until it goes to that point there. Cue that. At this point it's patience, regular looking to make sure you're not overcooking it, and if you do, you've got to cut every single facet again. Eight facets in now, cut with 500 and then 1200, 500, 1200 and then 3000. So the next stage is polishing, but we've got a couple more to put in yet, but getting it accurate at this stage really does help the process. I hope I haven't spoken too soon on that. Anyway, it has potential. We'll carry on tomorrow. Right, so the first 3 pavilion facets are in, and we've smoothed them off using a final 3000 disc. So what we're going to do now is set in the girdle, which is the actual shape of the stone. So I'm just going to choose the highest point and then follow it all the way around and meet every line. And let's see how we get on with that. Righto, here we are. Everything girdle wise is now done. So there's a couple more pavilion ones to put in just to finish it off and hopefully straighten up these lines along the girdle. And then we'll see what it looks like. Right, everything's cut. It now needs to be polished. This isn't looking its best until it's polished, of course, but it has potential, as hopefully you can see. I don't know how bright this lighting is, but looks good from here anyway. So we'll polish up, and then we'll remove this, dop it onto the end here on the Q-lit, and start doing the crown. So whilst I'm all set up here for the girdle, I'm going to start at this angle and just do the girdle. Girdle not so important, unless of course you're an absolute perfectionist. Purely, you don't need to do it all, it's just perhaps a millimetre towards the pavilion. If we can get that nice and clear, that'll give us enough room, because all of this is going to get cut away. Hopefully you can see that. Right, so I'm using Old Faithful, which is Perspex, with a bit of oil and diamond powder on it. WD-40 is the preferred lubricant for me. Let's see how we get on. So we're going to set up, I'm going to start on the plan at the beginning of the girdle, which is 22. The girdle angle stays the same. Let's see how it polishes up. There are several different polishing laps. Sometimes others work better. Generally seem to do alright. See, straight away you can see it's beginning to cut through. It's very messy because we're using it. Now this polishing stage is exactly the same as the cutting stage. You could call it just very, very fine cutting, because you're taking off a thin layer. Sometimes the angles don't come in exactly right, as you can see there, but just persist with it. Lubricant is there to stop the disc and the stone from getting too hot. Okay, so hopefully you can see that the girdle has been polished. Now it looks a bit hazy down the bottom, but all of that stone is going. So we only need this top bit polished. So that's done. So we're going to get onto the very, very delicate part of doing the pavilion now. Okay, Sunday morning. We got some time. What I'm going to do now is start polishing these, if you like, main mirrors that the light comes in from the top, the crown, and bounces back out, which is what makes it sparkle and shine. So we've got lots of facets there just to really polish up. So that's what we're going to do. So I've set it up, starting at the beginning again on here, 41.53, that's the angle, double check, yeah, and on the index wheel, 6 is the first one, and I'm just going to bring the table up, until it just raises off. Here we go, and let's see if it lands properly. There might be some fine adjustment needed, but we'll just set it going very, very slowly and see where it lands. You can see by the white line it's landing roughly right, but slightly to this side. So let's just carry on polishing that and see what happens. right. It's polishing the top part, but not the bottom part. So if we lower this a little bit, that then puts more pressure on the bottom part of that facet. And you can see that is almost done. I'm going to do the rest like that and come back to you. Now you see the difference. We are polished. Looking good. Looking, if I do say so myself, accurate. Well, to my high standards. Or low in comparison to a professional. So, let me turn that off. What I'm going to do now is transfer it onto the dop this side, and we will start on the important crown, the window. Right, to continue. Okay, so turned it around. We now got the flat top, which is going to be formed into the crown, the window of the gem. So we've lined it up with the plan, 96 at the bottom, at the point there, and we're going to start, according to the plan, with an angle of 43.35. So 40, 1, 2, 3.3, 5. That'll do. Water to keep everything cool and lubricated. And wind down. Okay, so we put all the facets in, and I'm just working on the table now. Still using the 3000 disc because I want it to be smooth. Okay, well, we're on to the polishing bit now. I think it's going to be nice. This is where the cheater comes in. So you can play around with where it's contacting the gem and where it's not. And it's just a case of touching on the polishing lap every facet that's been done and making minute adjustments until the facet is flat and shiny. Okay, there we go. Done. You won't see the true beauty of the stone, if it is beautiful, until we get this off the top. So I'll do that now and show you the end result.